Oh man. All right. Good morning, everyone. Let's get going. Got an exciting day ahead of us today. It looks like Friday session, the S&P and Nasdaq was a little bit softer on the day. Just kind of a sideways move. We did have the Dow Jones that did make a new record closing high, but the Nasdaq and the S&P were down. Alibaba IPO obviously dominating headlines on the day. I mean, everything that was going on was kind of going on around that. Took over the whole market on the day, and a lot of people calling it top in the market as this is the biggest IPO of all time, all this money coming out of the market and yada yada yada. But bottom line is, a very important day, I think, in the market. This morning, obviously, we're coming in. The markets are under some serious pressure in Asia, so we'll go straight into that. You can see there across the board down heavy. This is actually the heaviest we've seen Asian markets in quite some time, and that's come on the back of China. That's come on the back of comments out of the the head of the central bank there making, kind of alluding to the fact that they may not really do anything more significant than what they did the other day to just inject some capital into the banks, and that they're going to be willing to accept probably a lower growth target than what they've got now. It's freaked the markets out a little bit this morning, seeing things down to kind of across the board. Obviously, mining stocks really continuing to be heavy on the back of that, but some real volatility there and some real heaviness. If you guys haven't been watching the morning call that we do here daily, it's been something that we've harped on for the past few months. We never coming out here just trying to call everything. We obviously talk about what we think is going to be important and what we think can happen, but we've just been going over and over and over and over the Chinese story, and we've known we've been on the right track there the whole time, simply because the markets have been telling us we've been on the right track. You've just continued to see mining stocks get decimated, and the guys that have been trying to pick the lows, have been just beginning killed in those stocks, and it's going to continue to happen. This isn't a secular short-term story. This is probably going to be going on for a longer period of time, especially as China continues to remain under pressure. So we'll continue to gauge that going forward. I actually got a little chart here that I found over the weekend that was really interesting. I know it's probably hard for you guys to see if you guys have it on full screen. Hopefully you can read it, and it's basically what it's showing is that defaults are happening in China, and some of the headlines that are coming out and some of the things that are happening with some of these companies are scary. I just saw another article over the weekend talking about how it was like listing the top 10 companies in China that the CEOs were most likely to steal all the company money and leave the country or something. So that's kind of the point that it's getting to. The guys are panicking. Guys are trying to take what cash they can before they have to file for Chapter 11 and run out. I mean, things are really getting ugly there. You can see from asset prices and things like that, which have been so dependent on China for a long time, these raw commodity prices that are getting decimated. So I think it's really important. This theme is not necessarily just getting, not necessarily maturing now. It could be still just getting started. There's no corporate action to talk of today. Very, very light day on data today. We're looking at industrial orders out of Italy, Chicago Fed numbers in the States, as well as existing home sales, and then we've got consumer confidence out of the Eurozone, but very, very little to look at from that point of view. So let's get into the maps. All right, first thing that we're going to look at this morning is Anglos. May as well stay on point. Anglo's obviously going to have a lower open today, and as part of a lower open, we're going to drop out of a little bit of this broadening formation underneath this head and shoulder. I wanted to just go over this so we can actually look at where our target is on this head and shoulder breakdown here. So we'll look from call it $25. We're looking to on the downside below 274. So we're really looking for around a 250 rand price target on Anglos, and I think we're going to get there very quickly. I think that these stocks will remain under significant pressure the entire day today. So watch closely there. We'll look at Kumba as well. Kumba, you can see here. It flagged. We looked at this the other day. A little flag or a little little ascending triangle. Either way, we dropped out of the bottom of that. We came down and more or less tested the lows yesterday. Didn't close at new closing lows. Today below 286 would make new closing lows. We're right there. It's obviously going to happen today. I think that we're probably going to see a quick move down to around the 270 level. So watch Kumba today. I actually think Kumba's going to get to 270 today possibly. If we look at elsewhere, we're looking to look at Sanlam. Sanlam on this breakout from this flag pattern. That's a terrible line, but the breakout of this flag pattern, the target up here was about $70, if I'm not mistaken. We went up and touched that. We actually went a touch higher just briefly. We reversed off of that. What I think is interesting is we made such a big breakout. We made a breakout to new highs, and we broke out. We actually traded a $1.40 above new all-time highs, and we still managed to come back and actually even close below the previous closing highs. So I think that's incredibly significant that we kind of failed to make new closing highs there in Sanlam, and I think we could have potentially marked a short-term top in Sanlam. I know that the locals have been incredibly hard to sell and be short of. Not saying that. I'm just saying that we may have marked a short-term top here in Sanlam. Another one that I think definitely has marked the top for the near term is Mr. Price. Mr. Price, you can see here, makes we're dropping out of this just really steep uptrend here. But what's most significant about this is the fact that you can see we made a key reversal on Friday. So we made a new all-time high and a new high of this trend, which obviously an all-time high would be a new high of a trend on Friday session early. Only to reverse hard. Not only did we take out and close below the previous day's low, we took out and closed below the day before that's low as well. So I mean that's a huge key reversal. It's to me one of the better setups to play out there. I think we're going to be looking for a quick move. What just happened? So there we go. A quick move today down to probably a 205, 206 level. That's what I would expect. I really think there's a good opportunity for second day play out there. Mr. Price, keep your eye on that one. And if we drop this level, then I think we've got significantly further to fall as well. All right. One of the things also, as part of what we've got going on, commodity prices getting decimated across the board, all those kind of things getting hammered. But what's also kind of been under the radar has been this fall in the gold price. It's just been happening, obviously, as yields go up. And we had a big argument about this as a couple guys I know in the market about the fact that, and some guys actually telling me that they thought as yields went up, the gold price would actually go up, which to me didn't make any sense, and it actually hasn't played out that way at all. Yields have started to move up in the States a little bit. The forecasting interest rates sooner rather than later now, and gold price getting absolutely decimated. So we'll just have a quick look at some of these gold shares. You can see obviously the gold price rolling over hard here, approaching the lows of the year. If we look at some of our locals, they're all starting to drop support. We've got AngloGold, which is looking like it's rolling over on from the bounce that it had the other day after it retracted its rights offer. It's shown no hope to bounce. I think this thing takes out the closing lows at 143. I think it can gather momentum to the downside. So watch that one. Gold Fields has just recently dropped out of support right here as well after looking so strong and being the strongest of the bunch only about a week and a half ago. You can see they're really dropping out of support at the 46 level. In fact, we actually closed just above 46.05. Sorry about that. But 46 major support. I think that this is a place that we can look for a potential drop today. I think looking on the charts here, it actually has dropped this. So the support level is a little bit above 46 at 46.30. So we have dropped it, only narrowly so. I'd like to see it get below 46, confirmation, and then I think we've got significantly lower to go in Gold Fields. If you look at Harmony Harmony also has dropped support. We showed this one a few sessions ago, dropping support here, approaching the lows from the year. I don't see any reason why this thing can't get down to the lows of the year now and potentially even wipe that out, which are down around 24.50, so not very far to go in Harmony to get down there. And then Siboney. Siboney had a hard run into the close on Friday. They actually closed it up a lot in the auction, so I don't know how much you can take out of that, but you can see there was a real fight that went on here in Siboney for a long time. We dropped it, really pushed away from it. We got down to about 22.20 or 22.30, and then Friday they took it into the close, and then they crossed it a lot higher into the close. The resistance was just a touch above 24. I think we got through it, but like I said, we kind of did it in the auction. I don't know how much you can take out of that. Watch it today. I think if we fail that level again, might be a good one to kind of pounce on and get a little sell on the session. And that's it for today, guys. Good luck out there. Be careful. There's going to be some wild moves. I think volatility, like we've talked about recently, is going to continue to pick up into the close of the year. Our call on that's been right so far. As if we see things that are being right like that, we're going to go with them, and that's the way we see them happening. Thanks a lot.